All right, history buffs, conspiracy theorists, and anyone who's ever thought people back then must have been smarter than us. Prepare to have your faith in humanity, or at least its decision-making skills, severely tested. Because today, we're diving headfirst into the annals of history, not for the grand victories or the tragic defeats, but for the moments that make you go, wait, what? That actually happened? Hold on to your hats, because reality, as you're about to find out, is often stranger, funnier, and significantly more chaotic than anything we could ever invent. Let's kick things off with a classic. Picture this: Australia, 1932. The world is in the throes of the Great Depression, and farmers in Western Australia are already struggling. Their biggest problem? Their precious wheat crops are being absolutely decimated by a migratory army of, wait for it, emus. Thousands upon thousands of flightless, 6-foot-tall feathered dinosaurs running rampant. So what does the Australian government do? Send in the army. With machine guns? Yes, you heard that right. It was literally a war between humans with military-grade weaponry and birds. And guess who won? Not the humans, the emus, folks. The emus outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and frankly, outran the Australian military. The soldiers, under the command of Major G.P.W. Meredith, fired over 10,000 rounds, killing, at best, a few hundred emus. Meanwhile, the emu population continued to thrive, practically mocking their human adversaries from behind dust plumes. It was such a spectacular failure, the Great Emu War is still taught in military academies as what not to do. Clearly, the emus hadn't read the Geneva Conventions, or any conventions for that matter. From military blunders, let's pivot to something truly inexplicable: the dancing plague of 1518 in Strasbourg. Imagine a regular hot summer day. Then, one woman, Frau Trophea, steps into the street and just starts dancing. And she doesn't stop. For days. Soon, others join her. One, then two, then dozens, then hundreds. By August, nearly 400 people are uncontrollably dancing, some for weeks straight, without rest, until they collapse from exhaustion, heart attacks, or strokes. The authorities, bless their hearts, decided the best course of action was to encourage them, setting up stages and hiring musicians, thinking they'd dance it out of their system. Because when people are uncontrollably flailing towards their demise, clearly, a polka band is the solution. It's still debated what caused it: mass hysteria, ergot fungus poisoning, a really catchy earworm, but either way, it was a rave that went fatally wrong, and had terrible beats, I imagine. Next up, a disaster that sounds like a college dorm fantasy gone horribly, fatally wrong. In 1814, in the St. Giles neighborhood of London, a truly massive 22-foot-tall vat at the Moo & Co. brewery, holding over 135,000 gallons of porter beer, gave way. The force of the rupture created a tremendous chain reaction, bursting other vats and unleashing a tidal wave of approximately 1.5 million liters of beer into the streets. Imagine a 12-foot high wall of actual beer surging through narrow alleyways. 8 people unfortunately died, some drowned, others from injuries sustained from the collapsing buildings. One poor girl was apparently found in a tub of beer. While tragic, you have to admit, there's a dark, absurd poetry to being swept away by an alcoholic tsunami. Definitely not how you want to go, but certainly a unique entry on the death certificate. And because one sticky, sweet, liquid disaster isn't enough, let's fast forward to 1919, Boston, Massachusetts. Much like its London beer cousin, a colossal storage tank containing over 2.3 million gallons of molasses, yes, the stuff you put in gingerbread, ruptured. The result? A 25-foot-high wave of thick, viscous brown goo, moving at an estimated 35 miles per hour, engulfing the North End neighborhood. Horses were drowned standing in their stalls, buildings were ripped from their foundations, and trains were derailed. 21 people died and 150 were injured. The cleanup alone took weeks, months even, as molasses seeped into everything, leaving the distinct smell lingering for decades. Imagine having to explain to your grandchildren why your house still faintly smells like a burnt cookie. Oh, that's just the ghost of the Great Molasses Wave, darling. Now for something a little less gooey, but equally absurd. The year is 1859. The setting, San Juan Island, a disputed territory between the United States and Great Britain, off the coast of Washington State. Tensions are already high when an American farmer, Lyman Cutler, found a British pig rooting through his potato patch. In a moment of pure, unadulterated, potato-fueled rage, Cutler shot the pig. Yes, he shot a pig. The British authorities demanded compensation. Cutler offered $10. The British demanded $100. And just like that, a single pig's untimely demise almost sparked a full-blown international war between two global powers. Both sides sent troops, cannons, and warships to the island, staring each other down for months all over a porker. Thankfully, cooler heads eventually, very slowly prevailed, and the only casualty was the pig, a monument to porcine sacrifice and human absurdity, and perhaps a lesson in anger management for everyone involved. And finally, let's dive into the truly macabre and downright bizarre. We're going way back to 897 AD, to the heart of the Catholic Church. Pope Stephen VI, who apparently had some serious beef with his predecessor, Pope Formosus, decided to put Formosus on trial. Sounds normal, right? Except Formosus had been dead for 9 months. Stephen, not one to let a little thing like death get in the way of a good grievance, had his rotting corpse exhumed, dressed in papal vestments propped up on a throne, and assigned a deacon to speak on his behalf. The charges? Breaking canon law, ambition, and basically being a bad pope. The verdict? Guilty, of course. Formosus's corpse was then stripped, had the 3 fingers used for blessings chopped off, because symbolism, dragged through the streets of Rome and thrown into the Tiber River. It was later fished out and reburied, only for Stephen VI to be overthrown, imprisoned, and strangled. Talk about a workplace dispute spiraling wildly out of control. Who knew papal politics could be so zombie-esque? So there you have it, a small but potent collection of moments from history that defy belief, logic, and sometimes even common sense. From armies losing to birds, to cities being drowned in sugary goo, to post-mortem trials, it just goes to show you, reality, quite often, is stranger, funnier, and significantly more chaotic than anything we could ever invent. Makes you wonder what truly wild, unbelievable things are happening right now, doesn't it? What other hidden gems are lurking in the dusty archives? Probably best not to think about it too much. Either way, next time you think your day is going badly, just remember the poor souls in the Molasses flood, or the soldiers who lost to emus. Puts things in perspective, doesn't it? At least you didn't get tried for treason after you died. Probably. See you next time for another list of